We should mention that, like, again, you said it just, but to make it clear, VideoLAN, as what it became was at the time is a set of technologies around video. The VLC, what you called the client, that's the thing that most normies
That is correct. And
think of like as the thing, which is like the thing that pops up when you click on a video and you play it.
so I arrived in 2003, and then I will create the open source non-profit organization called VideoLAN, and I took everything out of the university to create it a non-profit project and something sustainable. It's true that I spent more time than anyone on VLC and VideoLAN, that is sure. But it's a continuity of a previous project, VideoLAN, the student project, which is a continuity of the Network 2000 project, which is a continuity of that and that.
I'm sure there's moments along the way there you were thinking of like, what is the future of this from an open source perspective? Because as the internet is blowing up, and there's companies, I mean, for people who don't remember, like there's companies making huge amounts of money.
And I can tell you that in 2005, the project should have died. And I made it to continue the project. At some point, we were only 2 active developers. And I thought it was great technology and was useful, and it will be useful. And I made that my life and my time. And I made that to grow from a few hundreds of thousands of users, millions of users, to what we have now, which is probably billions of versions of VLC around the world and used everywhere. So that's a bit the story of VLC. There is a ton of very funny story around that. Many people from around the world working on it, like you said, in Syria or middle of nowhere in India. But along the way, I got several offers, which were either to bundle toolbars, right? You remember those horrible toolbars, which were basically spyware, or changing your web browser or your search engine, or even like advertisement inside VLC. And I didn't like that, right? I am, and people don't understand that I'm not against money, right? I'm very happy to make money. I created several startups, and one, I hope that is going to work very well. It's the fact that I believe that you need to win money ethically. There is a right way of doing that. And doing sneaky advertisement or stealing data is not the correct way, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, if Netflix arrived at some point and say, well, we want to put Netflix inside VLC, probably the story would have been different, right? But they didn't. The only people who came to us were shady ads company.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do that, right, I would have a ton of money, right? And then 3 years later, project is gone, right? Someone forks it and something else happens.
So it's not even necessarily ads or any of that. It's the shadiness of the dishonesty of the. So you had a good radar. You had a good threshold of like, no, this compromises the spirit of what this is supposed to represent.
But also, it's for me, right? I'm like very selfishly, I need to go to bed at night and be happy about what I've done, right? Maybe it's my upbringing, maybe it's my parents' fault or whatever, right? But I believe there is right and wrong, right? And this was the right decision at the time. It still is. I want to be proud of what I've been doing. And like, if I had sold out, I would have betrayed so many other people's work.
Yeah, well, I should say me and most of the internet, thank you for that decision. It's inspiring for others. I think that that are pushing the open source movement forward, that it's okay to do these kinds of huge sacrifices if you believe it's right. And I think in that case it was right, and it was the reason that VLC became as successful as it was, because it's an embodiment, it's a symbol of, like, freedom and of what the open source community can create.
Yeah, and be a service for so many people around the world, and this is important.
We should emphasize, in the 2000s, it was really normal to download a program and it secretly installs some spyware.
Yeah,
it was buried in very faint text or in the license text box that nobody reads, that at the bottom, I will be installing this toolbar and changing all these things. And it was very common to have to, you install a program to do something at the time of any sort.
To put yourself in the mind of a developer at that time, I think it's very easy to everybody listening to this. It's very easy at that time to convince yourself to take a few $1,000s to do it, to say no to much more money
Yes.
takes guts and takes vision.
The last offer I had was obscene. And they say, yeah, but imagine with all that money, you could build something new, open source, right? It was like the mind trick was, it was difficult.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like, no, this doesn't work like that, or this is not the right thing. So I don't do it. And again, right, it's not that I don't like money or whatever. It's just like, it wasn't right.
Well, once again, thank you from me and from the rest of the internet.